Hey, welcome back to my IELTS podcast. Today, we're going to continue our part 7, which is about band score strategies. In other words, what separates band 6 from band 8's IELTS candidates. All right, let's get started. So, band 6 versus band 7 and versus band 8. So, in this first part of our lecture today, we will look into the vocabulary differences. This is the key strategy, actually. In other words, we will look how a Band 6 candidate, a Band 7, and Band 8 candidate use their lexical resources. Right, let's have a look at Band 6 candidate. So Band 6 candidate use adequate lexical resources. So just use adequate vocabulary with some mistakes, some errors, a limited range of words and expressions. For example, the number went up, then it went down. It was high in 2020. You see, in this case, the Band 6 candidate, of course, used adequate vocabulary, but repetitive, a basic collocation, limited range, and you can also see some informal verbs as well. Okay, let's move on to Band 7 candidate. This is a good, competent. So, how Band 7 candidate uses a sufficient range with flexibility. In other words, they use sufficient range of lexical resources and vocabulary with a twist, with a flexibility. These include some less common vocabulary items included in their writing. Let's have a look at the example. The figure rose steadily before experiencing a decline. It peaked at 45% in 2020. You see, in this case, the Band 7 candidate used indeed good collocations, of course, with some variety, you can see there, and occasional imprecision. All right, let's have a look at Band 8. This, in this case, an expert user, fully competent user. So they use a wide range of vocabulary or lexical resources fluently and with precision. Rare mistakes, skillful paraphrasing throughout their writing. Okay, let's have a look at the example. The figure surged dramatically, reaching an unprecedented peak at 45% in 2020 before witnessing a marked downturn. So you see how different it is from Band 6 candidate to Band 8 candidate. In this case, Band 8 candidate is an expert user of English. They tend to use very sophisticated collocations and natural words choice and precise and fluence in their writing. So the difference is not bigger words. It's actually the right words that they use. So Band 8 candidate or writers demonstrate range, precision, and flexibility, and even natural collocation in every sentence they write. So keep that in mind if you want to earn a Band 8 band score in your writing task. Okay, so let's have a look at the top 10 common lexical mistakes which IELTS candidates commonly make. So avoid these frequent errors to protect your lexical resource score. So we have 10 common mistakes with the correct version. 1. Using go up or go down This is a very low key. Please do not use go up and go down. This is very basic. Instead, replace them with increased or decrease. Two, writing a lot of. Again, this is pretty basic. Replace a lot of with a significant number of. That shows you are capable, you're competent. Three, confusing the word percent versus percentage. So you should know when to use each of these, right? Four, double comparative. I often hear people use more bigger, but of course, we never use more bigger. You can use much bigger because adverb modify verb, or significantly larger, again, adverb modify adjective. Right. Five, spelling errors, spelling mistake. These words are often misspelled. For example, government. They do not spell out government, but they spell government. That is commonly made mistake. Environment occurred. So be mindful of these commonly made mistakes, a silly mistake, because this silly mistake can drag your band scores down. Six, wrong collocation. For example, the rate got higher. This is low key. Use the rate increased. Seven, informal language. This is pretty bad actually. When you say things got worse, just say the condition deteriorated. All right. Eight, some candidate they copy the question word for word, like we talked about in the previous lecture. Always paraphrase the task rubric with using synonym and different sentence structure. Okay, another one is overusing respectively incorrectly. Probably, if you are an IELTS candidate, you might already know that how popular this word is. In other words, a lot of people use respectively incorrectly in their writing, and they use it repeatedly, multiple times. So ensure the items match in order when you use it. Last but not least, number 10, using amount with countable nouns. If you are a grammar person, you might already know that amount is using only with uncountable noun. We do not use with countable noun, so please do not use with countable noun. Well, if you want to use with countable noun, replace the word amount with number. You may say number of students, number of countries, number of people, right? So here's the examiner insight that you might want to know. Even one or two of these mistakes or errors repeated throughout your essay, it can drop your full band. I stated this earlier actually. So please try to eliminate them, and of course, your band score will rise immediately. Okay, let's look at the examiner insight. What do they expect from us? And how do they judge or assess or even evaluate and score our writing test? So what IELTS examiner look for? So there are four criteria here that they look for. First of all, range. Second, precision. Third, flexibility. Last but not least, naturalness in your writing tone. Let's start with range. They would often ask this question: do you use a variety of vocabulary or lexical resources? Or do you repeat the same five words in your writing? So the examiner count unique lexical items across your response. Right, let's move on to precision. So, this question is often asked: is each word used accurately, or you just say it out of blue? So, if you use wrong collocation and incorrect meanings, of course you lose marks, and your band score will be degrees. So, even if the vocabulary is advanced, right? Flexibility. Do you express the same idea in a different way? Or can you express the same idea in a different way? If you can, of course, this demonstrate a true mastery of English, not broad memorization or word list, of course. Well, the examiner can feel that. A naturalness. Does the vocabulary feel natural and appropriate or forced and memorized? So examiners quickly spot rehearsed phrases, right? So if you were to increase your band score in your IELTS writing task 1, well, you need to improve these 4 criteria: range, precision, flexibility, and naturalness. So because the examiner read hundreds of essays, and it stand out by being precise and not just by being or using obscure vocabulary. All right, that should be it for today's lecture. I'll see you in the next lecture, which will be the end of this writing task 1 for the IELTS academic, and we will talk about practice activity or exercises together.